Hello all, this is Mark Morency, and I'm here to show you the parts of the brain for human biology for the nervous system lab. Now the nervous system lab handout is posted on Blackboard. I want you to refer to the back of the page here, or the second page, where you have this list right here. And I'm going to show you briefly all these different parts that you need to know for the second lab exam. And so if you just follow along with me here, if you have any questions, you can feel free to email me. So again, you want to have this list right here as a reference as I go through these different parts using different models. Alright, so starting off from the top here, we have the 4 brain lobes here. And so I have this model here. So the first lobe is the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is right here in this light brown area right here. So it's in the front of the brain. So if I rotate this around here, front of the brain, this is the olfactory nerve that goes over to the frontal lobe. So all this in the light tan is the frontal lobe. The parietal lobe is further in the back. It's this green lobe right here. So you can see it's a whole top back end of the cerebrum is a parietal lobe. And then you have the temporal lobe. The temporal lobe is this yellow right here. It's on the lower side. So temporal lobe, and lastly you have the occipital lobe, which is in the back of the brain. So you see if I rotate this around, it's in the back, and the blue is the occipital lobe. So again, you have frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and occipital lobe in the back. This is not a lobe here. This is the cerebellum. We'll get to that later. So again, there's only 4 lobes: frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital. If I go to the next list, so again, following right here on this list right here, we're going down into the brain structures now. So looking at the brain structures, the first one is on the list of the cerebellum. Now the cerebellum, if I flip this around like here, the cerebellum is this back portion right here. It's underneath occipital lobe. So occipital lobe is right here. So it's right underneath occipital lobe. This is again in the back of the brain. And so right here is the cerebellum. Here's the front right here, and turning in toward here, the back. So the cerebellum. If I flip this over here, the cerebellum is brown, this dark brown right here. This back here, you see this, it looks like a tree right here. This is part of the cerebellum called the arbor vitae. So the cerebellum is back there. The cerebrum is this really large part of the brain right here. All this, it makes up the vast majority of the brain here. And if I turn this around like here, all this is a cerebrum. Okay, so cerebrum is the largest portion of the brain here. Okay, the next on the list is the corpus callosum. The corpus callosum is this part right here. It looks almost like an ear. So if I turn this, you see how it looks like a curve of an ear? That's the corpus callosum. This is what attaches the 2 halves of the cerebrum together. So if I get the other one here, you can see how it connects. Okay, and so it's a connecting feature between the 2 halves of the cerebrum. So corpus callosum. Next on the list is the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is right here. It's an extension from what we're going to talk about later is the thalamus, this oval part of the thalamus. But underneath it is this hypothalamus right here. So there's no extension from that. Now if I take the other half here, if I look at the other half, notice this hanging off of the hypothalamus. So again, this is the hypothalamus right here. This is the pituitary gland. Okay, that's another thing that's on your list, the pituitary gland, and that's hanging off of the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus, pituitary gland, right here. The next on the list is it's the medulla oblongata. And the medulla oblongata is part of the brainstem here. So if you look at the whole brainstem, this whole area right here is a brainstem. This whole brainstem is actually consists of 3 parts. You have the midbrain. The midbrain is right here. You see it kind of like a curved structure. It almost looks like a banana. And so if you look at the top of the banana, the curve of the banana, the bottom of the banana right here, that would be the midbrain right here. You get this big oval right here. This is the pons here. And then the last part of brainstem is this funnel right here. So it looks like a funnel, like a little tornado. This is a medulla oblongata right here. So again, the 3 parts of the brainstem: midbrain, the pons, and the medulla oblongata, this funnel here. Okay, and so we can take a look at the other half here. So same idea here. You got the banana. Here's the midbrain, and the oval, the pons, and down here the funnel is the medulla oblongata. 3 parts of the brainstem. And then we have the thalamus. The thalamus is the oval right in the middle right here. This whole thing right here, this whole oval is a thalamus. This is a yellow dot right here. This is a adhesion part of the thalamus. That's where one half of the thalamus attaches to the other half right here. Okay, but realize the thalamus is more than just this little dot right here. It's a whole oval structure here. So again, this is the thalamus. This is the hypothalamus underneath it. On this side, thalamus, hypothalamus underneath it. And on this side, you have a pituitary gland hanging off of the hypothalamus. So you have thalamus, hypothalamus, pituitary gland. Okay? And that right there completes all the structures that's on the brain lab there. So study this video, look over these brain parts as they will be tested on the lab exam, and make sure you fill out all the definitions and the questions on the rest of the lab handout, and let me know if you have any questions by email or during my designated office hours online. That's it for me, so take care all, and good luck studying on the brain.